Hi, I'm Dax, Studio Director at Whatboy Games, working on Stellaris Nexus. Stellaris Nexus is a simultaneous, turn-based, fast 4X game that can be played in either single or multiplayer, start to finish, in about 1 hour. The game plays out across the entire galaxy, starting on the galactic rim and ending on the throne world of Nexus in the centre of the galaxy. Every choice that you make in Stellaris Nexus is an action. In this dev diary, we're going to be looking at how actions work and taking a deep dive into the details of combat. Here's Adam, the game director at Whatboy, to take us through it.
Thanks, Dax. The heart of Stellaris Nexus is the interplay, intrigue, and politics between all the different factions in play. But today we're just going to talk about the basics. As Dax said, almost everything you do is an action. The number of actions you can take on each turn is limited by your support, which is your most important resource. Support represents the freedom of your regime to act, either through a happy population, coercion, or through ruthless suppression. Each subsequent action you take costs more than the last. For example, your first action costs 1 support, your second 2, and so on. One of the core design pillars of Stellaris Nexus is to keep your turns short and impactful. So you can use an action to do one of the following: activate and move a fleet, start construction of a new fleet or starbase above one of your planets, or to play an edict. Edicts are unique to Stellaris Nexus. Edicts are how you develop your empire and interact with other factions outside of direct conflict. You can use edicts to research new technologies, construct new projects on your planets to develop your economy, trade with other empires, initiate diplomatic agreements, or to spread your culture. We'll go over these in more detail in a future video. Each turn, you'll draw a few edicts from your edict deck. So you won't know exactly what edicts you have available to you, but over a number of turns, your options will be consistent. Your choice of faction and leader determines which edicts you start with. Each turn, you have a key decision to make on how many actions to use to further your military objectives and how many to use on edicts to develop your empire. One of the things we're most excited about in Stellaris Nexus is that politics, diplomacy, and trade play such a key role. Although there are many non-violent ways to interact with your neighbours, sometimes conflict is inevitable. When hostile fleets meet in a star system, combat occurs. Battles in Stellaris Nexus are automated. The outcome of a battle is determined by the strength and types of fleets on both sides of the conflict, with a little bit of randomness thrown in. It's not just a case of having the largest fleet, though. Each class of fleet is particularly effective against a different class. Ranged fleets can strike slower-moving capital fleets from afar, but faster raiders can close that distance quickly. However, their light weapons have little effect on armored capital ships. Advanced technologies can upgrade the offensive and defensive capabilities of your fleets, as well as unlocking new fleet types. Finally, you can assign powerful fleet roles to your fleets to give them situational bonuses.
It's worth keeping in mind the way that turns work in single player versus multiplayer. In single player, you're battling against 5 AI opponents, and you can take as long as you want to decide which actions you're going to take before you click end turn. But when playing against other human players, there's a turn timer that is set at the beginning of the game and which gives every player a time limit in which to play all of their actions. If you don't end your turn before the turn timer runs out, you have 60 seconds of overtime that can be spent across the entirety of the game, so use it sparingly. In this way, multiplayer games move fast. This is to ensure that standard multiplayer games come in at around the 60-minute mark. So follow your gut, trust your instinct, and if you get annihilated, check the end game stats to figure out where you went wrong. And we'll see you for another game on the Galactic Rim.